Hi guys, and welcome to your daily tarot reading for Tuesday the 14th of December 2021. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to use the China Tarot for today's reading. Let's see what these cards have to say about Tuesday. So lately I've been using decks that I haven't used in ages, so I just want to show you these so you get an idea of what they look like. Again, decks with this kind of thing where there's absolutely nothing to give you a clue as to what the card may mean. These are kind of more difficult to read, obviously. So if you know the tarot a little bit, then that will work for you. If you're just a beginner, look at decks that, instead of the Two of Swords, that you actually have an image where there's a woman sitting there with a blindfold and two swords crossed across her chest, because that body language then gives you a clue. All right, so let's see what the cards have to say about Tuesday and what the day is going to look like. Some decks also just have a nice feel to them, and these are just really easy to shuffle, and they feel, my Virgo's coming through, they feel neat and orderly. Okay, so we've got the Four of Wands in reverse, okay? So I always say the Four of Wands is the best or most positive card in the deck, and that it's the one card who has the same meaning when it's reversed or upright, because it's a gate, it's a doorway, so whether it's this way around or this way, as far as I'm concerned, is irrelevant. Then we've got the Wheel. I'm not quite sure what we're looking at there, okay? And then, I'm not trying to be funny, so I can see a leg and an arm, but I can't really make out much more. So I don't know what that's trying to tell us. Someone's fallen off the wheel? I don't know. All right, and then we have the Two of Chalices, the Two of Cups, which is like the minor arcana version of the Lovers in the major arcana. Okay, so it's interesting. We've got the themes of marriage and love. And the Wheel of Fortune usually is about, a sense of karmic destiny being at work, and you feel like you're making decisions that are going to be life-changing. But here we've got sensuality and the naked body. And again, it's got this theme of relationship and love and romance. So I think that's something that's very much out there today. Love is in the air. As such, there's the potential to connect with new people, and to feel some sparks, and to meet someone who you're meant to meet at this point in your life, who can bring you a lot of joy and happiness and a sense of connection. And also, it doesn't need to simply be temporary. It can be life-changing, and it can start off innocently enough, as in, oh yeah, we've got a new colleague joining the team today, and then it turns into something that becomes a great relationship, a friendship, and then romantic feelings develop, and it changes the course of both of your lives. So it can be another person, but also the Four of Wands is about celebrating your life and finding joy in what you're doing and making the most of every moment. What I liked, it was really trendy, I think a few years ago, was people getting married to themselves. I thought it was, there were several ways of looking at it. You could say, well, it's a little bit self-indulgent to spend all this money getting married to yourself. I see that argument. But also just the idea that, I'm single, but I do want to, have a great party for myself. I think there's something really great about that. And to say I'm going to marry myself is like an act of self-love. And it's a great opportunity for people to come together and to enjoy themselves and to celebrate that person. So, I really like that, and that's what I'm talking about here with the Four of Wands, whether it's, you fall in love with a new hobby, or you discover something within yourself that you're really proud of. Like for instance, if you have difficulties in life, the fact that you always bounce back, and that you could become very aware of that and say, do you know what, that's great, I'm going to celebrate that. So there is the potential for celebration, to fall in love with another person or with yourself or the world or a way of living your life. And it feels very comforting and very reassuring. So the Four of Wands, this card, it's in the suit of Wands first and foremost, so it's fire. That's a masculine element which says it's up to you to make your life interesting and exciting and fulfilling. Look at what you can do, explore, and check out your options and think for yourself, and don't let yourself be put off. And when you've got 4 of them, then we've got this doorway, and usually it's adorned with these wreaths, and people are celebrating in the background. There's a town, and people are holding flowers and things. So it is this moment in life where you're saying, I've got somewhere amazing, and I'm going to take a minute to celebrate that and to appreciate it. I'm going to let other people in on my good time and this good space that I'm in. And that in itself, this is interesting because I mentioned this, I think, in the weekly horoscope that I did over the weekend. But so, for instance, a celebration seems symbolic in the sense that it's almost like a marker for yourself. It's almost like evidence. Hey, I am doing well because look, I'm having this garden party, so I can't be that hopeless. It's almost like doing something positive for yourself proves it to you, and you actually believe it when you see it. And that's interesting that the cards reverse, because the celebration and the good in your life, it may not be immediately obvious, and it may have to be self-generated. So, if no one's going to marry me, then thank you, I'm going to marry myself. Or if there aren't any dinner parties happening, then I'm going to throw one. Or if no one's telling jokes at this round table, then I'm going to tell one to lighten the mood. So it's something that has to be created from you, and it's important for other people who will benefit. But that's the main thing I'm getting, that it's important because it serves as evidence that you will believe that you're actually doing a lot better than you realize, and that you can lay off a little bit, and that you're on track, that you don't need to be such a strict taskmaster on yourself. Okay. The Wheel of Fortune is the 10th card in the Major Arcana, and it means that you have the opportunity to change course and to enjoy the freedom you have in life, and to say, if I can go in this direction because it's fun, and I can also try this again, which didn't work out, and I can travel, and I can learn, and I can stay home, I can do whatever I want, and ultimately the joy of this, that it's down to me which direction I go in. And the Wheel of Fortune is also, it kind of looks like a compass usually, and it shows that it's a natural part of life to be on top at times and to be down. So it kind of reminds you that please don't despair. If things are bad, they won't always be bad. And if they're great, then don't get too comfy, because they're not always going to be like this. It kind of reminds you that everything's temporary, that everything has a dual nature to it, and that within all of that stuff, you can always choose again. So it opens up opportunities for the future. And I think the celebration of yourself, or this new relationship, or this new thing that you love, that's what generates you getting to this point of crossroads, or this sense that, hey, I'm at a crossroads, because you're so energized and fired up that it's like, I feel good. How can I go in a different direction in my life, which is all good, which matches this vibration? And that then leads to the Two of Cups, which is usually two people crossing their arms like this, and each one has a chalice in a hand, and there's a caduceus between them, and an angel, and a lion's head with wings, and it's freedom and strength, and it's a relationship that comes into your life at the right time, and that serves a real purpose, whether it's to make you feel loved, or to remind you who you are, or to heal you, or whatever it may be, or to inform you. So celebrating the good stuff in your life, maybe even just simply making a gratitude list, so that you can feel happy about the stuff that you've got. That changes the dynamic, or the direction you're going in, and it leads you to this place of love. So it could be that the chicken exists before the egg, in the sense that you need to marry yourself or celebrate yourself, so that you create this diversion, or this change of course, into a land of more positivity, and that the result then actually appears in your life. So it's going to be different for different people. Some will celebrate and be in a good spot and feel this change, and then bump into someone at the supermarket and fall in love, and it's all wonderful. Other people will feel appreciative and good, simply celebrate that, and it gives them a greater sense of choice when it comes to their own future and freedom. So the Two of Cups in itself, you see here, I mean, I would never look at love from this. What are even these things? They're like, I mean, chalices are cups usually. These are unusual cups. And we've got dark and light. So we've got two different things coming together and existing in their own right, but now entering a symbiotic relationship for the time being. Okay, but it's a bit too abstract for me. I wouldn't have figured that out if I didn't have the prior knowledge of the Two of Cups. So again, you know, these things are always going to exist in their own right. So you come across something that's really, or someone that's an important part of your journey, but ultimately it's not your final stop on your journey. It's something that you need to learn right now or remember or understand or see. And I think that is revealed to you in a loving, positive way. You know, like if I play mini golf with my siblings and their kids, you know, and nieces and nephews, and I have the best time, then I realize that I do get on with kids. You know, if I've never spent time around any kids before, then I wouldn't know that. So I've got to sometimes take a chance to reveal something even better that wasn't clear before. Number-wise, we've got 4. Oh, and the 4 in reverse, 4 is security and structure in numerology. And a 4 in reverse, like the Hanged Man, is always a lack of security. So if there's something that's up in the air, celebrate the space that creates. Instead of saying, oh, I'm so anxious, I need an answer. The journey is more important than the end stop on this day. So find something to be grateful for and to celebrate. Number-wise, 4 and 10 is 14 and 2 is 16. 1 and 6 is 7 and 7 is the mind and creativity. Yeah, so really focus on the good stuff, get creative with that, and then you'll get to this point on the day where you feel like, oh, I got a choice to make and I can go in a very different direction. Sometimes those moments feel very eerie, like the sound kind of changes and everything gets quiet. It's like you're in slow motion and you're like, wow, I'm about to speak and the words I'm going to say next are going to have a profound impact on my life. Those are great moments, you know, when you're having those. It's kind of like the only thing I could liken it to is when an eclipse happens. A solar eclipse. It's like life stands still. It's very interesting. So have an amazing day. If you would like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. On the front page, click on book your reading to audio reading with me. If you like this video, then give it a thumbs up. Please hit subscribe and share the video online. Have an amazing day, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.